You may find the rear mounting of the filament spools on the Finder 3 to be problematic. If you have your machine against a wall, for instance, it can be difficult to change the spools. You have to, physically rotate the machine to get at it. So one solution is to print a side mount spool holder, and that's what we're going to look at now. In the class assignment, there's a link to a side mount spool holder on Thingiverse, which is thing number 585669. I'll just type in that number and hit enter, and there it is. And this is what the side mount spool holder will look like. It attaches to the side of the machine, and there's a filament guide that prevents the filament from rubbing against the side of the machine and the input port on the top of the extruder here. And you'll notice that guiding the filament is a tube, so you will need to purchase a length of PTFE tubing that is 5 millimeters outer diameter and 3 millimeters inner diameter. If you copy those dimensions and go to Amazon and search, you should get some results. So here you can see this is previously viewed. So this is the one that I purchased, 3 millimeters inner diameter, 5 millimeters outer diameter, Teflon tubing, 10 feet in length, so you get plenty of it. And then you can cut it to whatever preferred length you like. Here I have a 26-inch length of the PTF tubing, and it just slides right into the top of the extruder, and it also slides into the hole in the filament guide. Here's another view of the side mount spool holder, and here's a view of the side mount spool holder without the spool attached. And you'll see that the filament spool holder consists of two pieces that are printed separately. No supports or rafts are needed. You just print the two pieces separately and then attach them together as shown, and attach the side mount spool assembly to the printer. I've also included the barcode number, item number, and description of the tubing that I purchased from Amazon, but you can purchase your tubing anywhere you like, as long as it has the inner and outer dimensions that were specified. So to print the model, we'll click on Thing Files, and we'll download both the guide and the holder. And we'll open Flash Print and choose File, Load File. Go to Downloads. I'll start with the guide. Yes, we want it on the platform. We'll make sure that it's on the platform and that it's centered. And that looks good. Then click Start Slicing. Default settings should be fine. We don't need a raft, so I'll turn that off. Shells, I'm going to add an extra shell for the guide to make the model just a little bit stronger. We'll click Slice, Slice Preview, and it gives us an estimate of the print time, 1 hour and 16 minutes. Close. I'll delete this model. Choose File, Load File. Import the holder and make sure it's on the platform and centered. Take a look at it. Now this one will take more stresses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add yet another shell. So it'll have 4 shells. And click Slice and Slice Preview. 5 hours and 15 minutes. So if we zoom in closely and look at it, you'll see that it has 4 shells. And that's just giving it a little bit of extra strength because of the twisting that it will need to endure on the machine. So we'll print those 2 models out and attach them to the machine. Normally we have the filament spool mounted on the back, but we will now take off the filament spool, set that aside. Next, we'll remove the filament feed tube. Just slip that through the retaining clip on the wire harness, and I'm going to just tuck it in back here so that it's being held out of the way. Next, on the screen, you're going to want to check to make sure that the filament runout sensor is not engaged. So we'll tap on Settings and look for Filament Detect. Here it's turned on because there's no red stop symbol there. If I tap that, now you can see that the filament detect sensor is off, indicated by a red circle with a line through it in the lower right-hand corner of the filament detect icon. Now I'm going to take my PTFE tubing with a 3mm inner diameter and a 5mm outer diameter, and I'm going to measure about 66 centimeters of the tubing. You can use whatever length you like, but this is what I found works for me. So 66, you can see I've already cut it. You want to make sure to use tube cutters so you get a nice, even, flat cut. 66 centimeters is just about 26 inches. And we'll take the pieces that we 3D printed for the side mount spool holder and insert the guide, the tube guide in this orientation so that it's coming down and out in front of where the spool is going to be resting. We'll go ahead and snap the side mount spool holder onto the side. And to take it off, you just grab it by the part where the filament rests on and snap it back off. So we'll put it back on, and then the guide tube, one end goes into the hot end assembly, and the other just slides into the tube guide. We'll put the roll of filament on and feed the filament through the guide tube. To load the filament into the hot end, you can either apply a little bit of pressure to the exposed end of the filament until the gears catch, or you can take out the guide tube and use your hand to feed in the filament until the extruder gears catch, and then replace the rest of the guide tube into the extruder assembly. If you wish, you can print a second side mount spool holder for the other side of the machine, so you can have two colors of filament mounted to the machine at the same time. That makes color swapping mid-print a lot easier if you have the two rolls mounted and ready to go.